So I put up a video recently with my top 5 picks for Storm League, which you can check out in the descriptions. And today we have a specific log and guide on Raynor. My main goal for Raynor and why I actually pick him is to do consistent damage towards a specific target while kind of staying safe and also being able to do camps and soaking. So this is the aim or overall goal of the build I'm gonna recommend and show you. You basically have 2 choices in there. Other than that, I think it's pretty set in my opinion what you should choose. The first choice is directly on level 1. So we have this Exterminator talent here and Ace in the Hole. I believe that Exterminator is quite underrated and an incredibly strong talent, especially after they patched it. It got a bit stronger now. Ace in the Hole also got stronger. So overall, I think Exterminator, and I'm going to show you later in terms of wave clear and camp clear, why I think this is so valuable, especially in lower leagues where you have to do a lot of the clearing yourself and a lot of camp taking yourself because people do random things. So I highly recommend this one. You can go Ace in the Hole if you want to as well, especially if your team has a lot of slow. You can benefit from that even if you didn't apply it yourself yet. Possibility if you're learning Raynor and you want to try both, I recommend to go Ace in the Hole in any 2-lane map, and 3-lane maps go Exterminator. But for the sake, I almost always go Exterminator exclusively.
Choose a talent.
Next one here. This healing here sounds kind of nice, but I feel like it's not actually worth it. It's not as helpful as you might think in terms of sustaining in actual fights where it's relevant. It's more of a stay longer on lanes, I guess, talent, but it's not really worth it, I think. You have a choice basically between Fight or Flight or Behemoth Armor, but I think Fight or Flight is not really an option for me. Some people take it, you decide, but I always go Behemoth Armor because I'm rather good at stacking. So I get a lot of benefit out of this.
Choose a talent.
Next one here is clearly Unstoppable. Compound, I think still, after it got nerfed, it doesn't have the slow anymore. The slow moved now to Ace in the Hole. So I still take it. I think Heavy Slug is kind of meh. Fuel in the Rush is also kind of whatever. So I still think this is the best one because of the cooldown reduction you get out of it.
Choose a talent.
Next choice, like your actual choice, I would say you have one, is between Hyperion and Raynor's Raiders. I really like Hyperion for some reason, especially again in lower leagues. People tend to really panic over it. It doesn't deal that much damage actually to heroes. It's not as dangerous as it looks like, but people tend to panic and make weird movements. Also gives your team a signal to actually go in now. It encourages them. So I always go Hyperion unless there's really a specific target I want to hunt down with Raynor's Raider with his Banshee here. Other alternatives for Banshee is obviously that you can scout with it a bit, but you have to micro it. So if you're just starting out, I always take Hyperion. I can highly recommend it to give it a try. Also for siege damage, like taking out forts, this deals a lot of damage to structures. So whenever you get the chance to actually do damage, you can increase it incredibly with Hyperion.
Choose a talent.
Next one here, I think there's no other choice than Giddy Up. The extra movement speed is just so helpful in repositioning. So there's no other choice than Giddy Up.
Choose a talent.
Here, I really like Paint Them Red, mainly for the heal, not so much for the extra damage. It's nice to pick off a lower health target, that's okay. But the healing is actually pretty good, to be fair, that you actually get out of it. It's more damage, and 90% of that is health or healing. So really good talent.
Choose a talent.
And here, I think you really don't have a choice than Execute. Execute is way too good. Maybe if you went the Banshee, you could go for Duskwing and very specific. Maybe you can give it a try if you really need your Raider to hunt somebody down. But Execute just seems so strong for Raynor, and especially for the build I'm going for, there's no other choice than Execute because I want to deal safe auto attack damage against whatever I can hit constantly, and this helps so much, especially the attack speed. The more damage against 50% health targets is less important in my opinion. I really like the attack speed. So overall, again, this is the build I run 9 out of 10 times. is Exterminator, Behemoth Armor, Unstable Compound, Hyperion, Giddy Up, Paint Them Red, and Execute. So one of the stronger things with Raynor, I believe, is his poke, or his consistent damage against low health targets, even against tanks. If you can not hit anything else, make sure you at least hitting the tank. The damage is still incredibly good. It just helps out your team. But if you manage to stack his auto attacks, that's his straight here, like every 3 attacks he has is fully charged, and he's kind of glowy and shiny, and then his next basic attack deals a lot of damage, and I'm level 20 now, but still, if I just hit this guy once, I already get like 500 damage in just really quickly, which is amazing. And also if you just like have a target here, you don't even have stacks, that's fine. And you go at it and you auto attack W, more auto attacks, just until it's over, which is very quickly. That's like 2500 damage. That's incredible, and that's without execute range, which would kick in against a normal target. That would be below 50% health. So that's amazing. You can even get it in with like a penetration round if you just reset our passive here, and then just wait a moment. If you just like at the end say, okay, we also hit him with the Q, just make sure you auto attack first and then use W, so you have the full duration, and it also is an animation cancel. So auto attack W, more auto attacks, say okay, let's do a second round of this and Q them. That's like 3500 damage without the execute range. So it's a shit ton of damage that you get in against people, and that's just a short round. So in longer fights, when you stay back and stay safe, even hitting tanks is actually amazing and will kill them, obviously, whenever you have the opportunity to safely, and I really mean safely, hit any other target that is not the tank and more valuable, then hit them. Even just a few shots at them, one of your trade hits, scares low health targets off a lot, because all of a sudden they lost 50% of their health, they're in a weird spot. Even like stuff like Lunaras that kind of jump at you. Overall, Raynor is amazing against Lunara, because she might come and try to poison you and even jumps over you. Yes, it deals a lot of damage, but you can heal yourself with your E, and you deal so much damage against her. Just make sure you hit your Q after the jump. Like if you're like standing here, she comes like from the right, and you know she has that ultimate. As soon as she leaps into the air, you can already aim to the left, because you know she's gonna land pretty much in the same spot, just on the other side. And as soon as she does land, give her a Q, and yeah, give her more auto attacks, and she's gonna be very dead very soon. In terms of doing camps, and one of the main reasons I take Exterminator, because of this amazing bonus, is I reset Raynor to level 4 and took this first talent here, and I took Behemoth Armor here, which doesn't have any stacks. Right now you would maybe have some stacks already, but level 4 is kind of when you might want to solo a camp, like one of the first camps here. So in terms of how much damage you deal to that, it's incredible. You can easily solo these. I mean, these can always be soloed, but in terms of how much speed you get just out of the talent, I like to switch here then and kill the other one basically off with my extra abilities here. So this is a really fast, very safe camp. I could even have dodged more of these shots to lose less health, but you still would have your E, which also, by the way, is recharging. If you actually would read the text on your E, it's recharging while you're auto-attacking, especially heroes. The cooldown of 45 seconds overall is really long, but you reduce it so much because you're constantly attacking something. So I use this all the time. Looking at the other camp, also again level 4, I made sure I don't have any stacks here. You can even solo as level 4 this camp here. It's a bit more tricky, it's a bit more dangerous. You probably want to take a fountain, or at least make sure you can back after it, or just hope somebody from your team helps you. But it's quite possible. Important is to kill this minion first, so I try to get like my Q into one other minion. I don't think there's a way to hit 3 at the same time. And make sure I hit this one, kill this one off, kite a bit, and make sure I pick them, like I focus them one by one and use my abilities kind of on cooldown. So you go here, shoot it, Make sure you kill this guy off first, and then you kite a bit so not all of them are basically hitting you at the same time. And I'm focusing one specific minion, make sure my Q hits all three, and use my W on cooldown. I guess you see you can kite them kind of, so one is running around and just one of them is hitting you. Use your Q again. And then you kind of survive that. So on level 4 you can totally solo that. Obviously it's easier if you would do this on like maybe a level 7, which also gives you this talent here that just reduces your cooldowns, which is cool, and yeah, makes your abilities available more often. As soon as we're talking wave clear, now it's again level 4, no stacks, even early wave clear, if you toggle some minions here, is pretty straightforward. So you want to hit the line of minions if you can, and then W and hit the one in the middle.
Something special for you.
So you hit all 3 of them. As you see, I'm like my 4th attack I used on the middle minion. If you instantly start attacking it and you don't have anything pre-stacks, the middle one will die early. But getting the 4th attack on the middle, on the caster minion, gives an AoE to all of them. So you have amazing wave clear. Obviously, you have also great siege capabilities. Just in terms of that, just how much damage that does is actually incredible to these structures here. In case you're actually going for the Banshee, just keep in mind that you can unwheel bushes and scout with this thing quite a bit. Just keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that you can control it. So maybe putting it into the back, like maybe something like this while you're trying to attack something. It's a bit annoying because you're constantly putting it back. So it doesn't go into any like weird spot. So I try to put it here and it's constantly trying to support me. But trying to make sure your radar here, or your Banshee here, doesn't get damaged by random abilities flying into towers, so you have it ready for a team fight, is, in my opinion, very crucial. Also, if your team fight soon or about to be happening, just putting it here outside of vision range and making sure you're fighting people here, and it's kind of in a safe position, and you bring it in as soon as you actually need it. That's perfect. So overall, again, this is the build. You have it on one screen, and in terms of playstyle, make sure you make rapid use of Inspire whenever you can. Hit as many people as you can, as consistent as you can. Whenever you get the chance, without any risk to hit somebody, do it and deal consistent damage to your opponents. It's gonna help you out a shit ton. And also make sure you use your E basically on cooldown whenever you can. As soon as you lost some percentage of your health, just use it. Keep auto attacking even outside of fights. Typically it's better to go in full life than saving it for the fight, because to be fair, if you lost like 20% of your health, you use this and until the moment the fight actually starts, and you might take damage and really want to use it, you know, situations where you usually save it for, it's probably gonna be up anyway again. Also be a bit careful with penetration round. You can easily save enemies with it by just pushing them outside of the get rush throw range or making sure to help them to get away. Make sure you either use it very early in an engagement to instantly give them some damage, then shoot at them, or make sure you use it to actually gain a kill. So when you're sure, okay, if I use it now, he's gonna die, save it until that moment so you don't push him away outside of your attack range and he just walks away, or outside of somebody of your teammates trying to hit skill shots. It's a bit dangerous. Obviously you can try to get an opponent like into your team, like let's say you're in this bush here, this is your own team side, and somebody is walking up to here. You can obviously come in, shoot them, and they get pushed into that. Also keep in mind, the closer you are to that opponent, the higher the knockback range. So if he's here, you might want to walk up right in his face and push him then, because just the knockback is increased. Overall, I wouldn't try too hard to make a play with that, but rather take opportunities that are kind of obvious. Maybe Stitches eats somebody and brings them back, then you can stand on the more offensive side here and make sure after he gets out of Stitches, you instantly shoot him back in. That's possible. But if there's like a team of opponents here, I would never like try to walk behind them and shoot them back in. That's way too risky. I would rather spend my time making sure I'm getting auto attacks out over and over and over again, getting massive damage on your opponents. This whole mini guide here is part of a series of my top 5 picks for low-level Storm League. You can check out the video in the description if you want to have a look at that. And if you want to see some of this gameplay and some of this playstyle in action, make sure to check out videos on my channel. There are usually some available for Raynor. I know by a fact that they're already there, and there's more to come, so you can see how I played it. Hope you enjoyed. Bye!